I'm going to say something that's going to make some people very uncomfortable here. For modern rock, Alejandra Villarreal might actually be a better fit than Geddy Lee ever was. Not more talented, not more legendary, but more relevant to what rock demands right now. Before this turns into a war, we need to define what better means. Because if better means more influential, more technically groundbreaking, more historically important, then no, this isn't even close. Geddy Lee, through Rush, helped redefine what bass could be, but that's not the question. The question is, what does modern rock actually need from a bass player today? Because the role has changed dramatically. Modern rock, especially with bands like The Warning, demands three things from a bassist: rhythmic authority over melodic dominance. The bass isn't a lead instrument anymore, it's an anchor. Restraint as skill. Playing less but making it hit harder is the order of today, and this can actually be harder than playing more. Blend over identity. This is the big one. Modern bands often succeed because they sound like a unit, not a collection of standout players. This is a completely different philosophy than what built the legends, especially progressive rock legends of the past. Now, I want to throw in one thing here, which is while Geddy Lee is one of the most identifiable bass players ever, he was always a bit of an oddball. Here are his strengths: highly melodic playing, independence between vocals, keyboards, and bass, and a tone that cuts through it all. In Rush, the bass isn't just support, it's a lead instrument, and he was the lead songwriter for most of the band's catalog. That worked perfectly in a trio format where everyone had to fill more space, but nowadays, even with a trio like The Warning, modern rock just doesn't work that way. If you drop Geddy Lee into a modern mix without changing anything, he might sound too busy, too forward, too present. And in a band like The Warning, that would actually hurt their overall sound, because their strength is lock plus punch plus clarity, not musical independence. Alejandra Villarreal represents something very modern. She plays for the song first, she locks tightly with the drums, and she leaves space where most bass players might try to fill it up. Most importantly, she understands when not to play, and this is a hallmark of the modern evolution. This is part of what makes her so respected right now. Not flash, not excess, but control. Now, the reality is that every era creates its own definition of greatness, and Geddy Lee mastered the era of progressive rock. But players like Alejandra Villarreal are a better fit for this era. She has the skills that are required, and they're not the same as what Geddy Lee had. So the real takeaway here isn't about who's better, but it's about who fits more in line with where the music is at any given moment. If you dropped Geddy Lee into The Warning tomorrow, I'm not convinced it would work. And that should tell you everything about how much rock has changed.